not being naive about information put on Facebook, yeah?
The intention is to share information with your closest friends, people who you have accepted your friend request.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
about all these companies who do not know, you don't know them?
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, back to the objective of Facebook. They say the objective of Facebook is to connect people. What we say is that Facebook is a business platform.
The like button is of course part of Facebook, but it is definitely a tool more for good than it is for evil.
When the businesses enter this Facebook, so they will know what the consumer want, what they want and what people don't like. So it's an easy way to market your product.
The idea of liking a status, Madam Speaker, puts people in a position whereby they are lazy to comment or lazy to stir a relevant point of discussion, but rather to just like it and then go away. We put it to you that this is harmful for Facebook. Yes, go ahead.
You have mentioned today that the reason why Facebook exists is not because of the like button. I put it to you now that Facebook exists today and perpetuates today above Friendster and above MySpace because they have a step above Friendster and MySpace, and that is the like button.
There are so many other things that Facebook has compared to Friendster, not just the like button. Facebook has applications that people can socialize with.
You were saying that it is only through posting on the walls and things like that you're able to find out more information. But then again, isn't that the point that when you like something, then it appears in your newsfeed, and it's only things that are brought to your attention through likes. So to remove it
thank you. Now I understand your point. So what he's trying to say here is that by liking things, it will be put on people's wall and you might find out about it. But we argue that this is not the only way to do this. And when we can point out all the harms that comes with a like button, we think that you have an obligation to reduce to take away the like button, because though it is one form, it's not the only form, and taking away will ultimately benefit more than it'll harm. No, thank you.
Why it's so successful compared to Friendster and MySpace? The second speaker, I applaud you for trying to rebut it, but unfortunately he did not. He said something about Friendster, and if Friendster and MySpace has the like button, we won't just move on to Facebook. Correct, because it was the marketing strategy of Facebook pioneering the like button. Without the pioneering of the like button, this will never have occurred at all.
That would mean putting everyone to blame, wouldn't it?
No, I mean that's because if you post something, you shouldn't be afraid of anything.
When people do war crimes as people, we see that these crimes are so heinous to the extent that they have killed, the way that they have conducted themselves, the torture that they have submitted to their people.
These are criminals. They have been manipulating other people all throughout their lives. They are good in acting. So if we want them to really correctly assess who is entitled to choose this death penalty, we need to set aside a tons of cost to hire this person.
Not because they want to choose that, but because they feel like they are compelled to choose that because of all these external pressures. Then that is my point, that you are actually necessitating them to choose death. You are not allowing them to choose death. You are actually pressurizing them to choose to not to live, to choose not to be a coward, to choose to die.
Self-inflicted deaths stood at 90 deaths for every 100,000 inmates last year. 86 the previous year. 72 the year before. That stands to be way higher than the number of capital punishments actually executed within the United States itself.
Death penalty is a form of torture. Then in that case, why are you allowing some people to choose the death penalty if you see it as a form of torture? And so, ladies and gentlemen, ultimately, we oppose this motion.
We have already set forth a very specific context in which such memory erasing techniques will be put into place, and that is in the context of the individual. We're not going to make people forget the Holocaust. We're not going to make people forget the abuse, the genocide, ladies and gentlemen. But what we're going to do is we're going to help people live their lives.
There are methods that are able to help people get away with grief. And the very fact that we have to go to the stage of removing someone's memory, as my first speaker has pointed out, is so severe, and it will eventually take out the personal development, will take out what is necessary for a person to develop in life.
The opposition is not here to just say, yeah, whatever you're saying is right, without any proper evidence. Instead, what we have come up with, we have clearly showed you evidence by the professor in John Hopkins University saying that it is absolutely crucial that you retain every memory for the survival of the human race.
And that is what a democracy is about. It's where the government defines where the community stands, and the opposition has to play by the rules of the government and prove us wrong, not go in a different tangent that we have set for them.
We already have the existing technology of therapy through psychologists and therapists. And now I will repeat the study done in 2011. An American article wrote about implications of memory-dampening drugs on soldiers that came back from war zones.
It is something private, something personal, something that we hold true to ourselves. And we do not want to sell it out to even private corporations or states to let them determine which part of our experience it's worth us to remember.
That is recognized as the main reason of why World War II happened and why Adolf Hitler managed to manipulate that and convince the German public that they are being bullied and it is unfair for them, and hence it happened.
Maybe what you can learn is to not go walk in the dark alley at night alone. Maybe that's one lesson that you can learn, ladies and gentlemen. Please sit down, your seats are not even warm yet. He would have heard what Afiq said in the sense that sit down, your turn to warm your seat. He would have heard that Afiq mentioned that we are only giving this treatment to a few classes of people, like mentioned rape victims and whatnot. And Kimi started talking about, what about peer pressure? What if I want to forget about the love of my life who left me? Now we're not talking about these people. That's why we have doctors in the first place. That is why we see that we have regulations. So Kimi, next time listen.
And secondly, we define Burger King, ladies and gentlemen, as a free market, ladies and gentlemen, within the context of economic regulation. So that is our definition. Sadly, they have failed to engage on that level.
In leveling the playing field between local niche markets such as Ramly burger stores and trying to compete with larger franchises such as Burger King, and if we can further extend that to other franchises that also sells burgers within the market.
That would be a problem if Burger King stores were ceased to operate, if we support Ramly burger stores. But what we're saying is that we're going to provide like subsidies and tax incentives to these Ramly burger stores so that they will be able to sustain themselves and not, bow into like globalized pressures of these franchises like emerging on them and getting on their property.
Yeah, thanks. But again, as we pointed out, this is not an actual problem because these Burger King stores are already self-sustaining to begin with. One, expectations versus reality. What you expect to gain from sharing a video, but what actually really happens. If what really happens does not match what you expect, then it is an inflated sense of accomplishment. We know the cause and effect thing, such that there are other causes that have caused the accomplishment, and it is not due to the sharing of the video. And finally, we know about how accomplishing without actually knowing about the thing is not a real accomplishment in the first place. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, the government strongly proposes this motion. Thank you very much.
This brings to mind a quote, a bit cliche, from V for Vendetta. I've witnessed firsthand the power of ideas. I've seen people killed in the name of some of them, and died defending them. We are told to remember the idea, not the man. Because a man can fail, he can be caught, he can be killed and forgotten. But 400 years later, an idea still lives on. Ladies and gentlemen, social media creates an idea, and ideas do not die. The very fact that we are here still debating on this issue speaks volumes. Remember the days of old and consider the years of each generation. We are the generation of today, the social media generation. And I believe that through social media we have done great things and we have great sense of accomplishment. Thank you.